Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. The top headline this morning, Countrywide Financial down another 14%. Jim Cramer, welcome first to the show. Yeah, they're using about $11.5 billion to fund their loan. And so, my biggest question is, when are we going to see sort of not to say silver lining, but to really get a big picture of what's going on? Because it seems like all these disclosures are coming in bits and pieces.
Well, you can't really have a silver lining until Countrywide goes out of business. Because you need to have anyone who... The silver lining is that we only have companies that have a substantial deposit-based lending. Now, Countrywide does have a giant bank with a lot of assets, and it's a FDIC. It's a I shouldn't say it's FDIC, but it's a savings and loan entity. I believe that they could survive in some form. I mean, if I were running Countrywide right now, I'd be calling up all the major banks and saying, well, do you want my origination network? But I think people behind the scenes, people have to recognize that Angelo Mozilla, who runs Countrywide, is a renegade. He's a renegade, though. And there's substantial forces at work that would like to see him disappear, including most of the major banks. They don't need Countrywide. Countrywide has been a price cutter. Not anymore. Now that they've been hiring people, they have 21% of the market. But this is a battle to the death for these companies. And Countrywide is, the bonds are down hideously today. Countrywide's a company that a lot of people would like to see go. And Angelo doesn't have a lot of friends. Now, he had his credit line today, and all well and good. All credit lines, let's step back and be empirical. There has not been a credit line or amount of capital that has been able to save any of these companies that's in trouble. They're literally, and I regard Thornburg as in trouble, they're literally almost 100% wiped out. Why would Angelo be different? He does have a deposit base, so conceivably he's covered. But if I were in the Fed, I would be saying, okay, look, we take out Countrywide. Now, they wouldn't say it like that. We eliminate the reckless lenders. And then we're able to look at the new world because we can stop and start cutting after we see the last of the reckless lenders, the mortgage brokers, go. And I think that right now the debate at the Fed, if they're attuned to it, is do we let Washington Mutual go? I think the Countrywide, they've already decided, should be let go.
Wachovia?
Wachovia bought Golden West. I mean, perhaps they should go. Now, let's back up to what should happen. Andrew Mazzillo is a good lender, and he did a good job, and everyone got caught up, and he's trying to do the right thing. And should his great company be crushed? No more than Thornburg. But the moment you get emotional about it and inject that issue, then you're no longer following the Fed's game plan, and you're going to set yourself up to lose a lot of money. So, I think it's imperative, and I wrote a piece this morning for realmoney.com, that people recognize that they have to be willing to have enough cash to be able to last for the triple play here, that they wipe out Countrywide, Washington Mutual, and Wachovia. When in the times that I've been trading in 1990, the two of the three banks that I banked at got wiped out. This is not something that brings down America. Is the Fed right that the industrial economy will not be hurt by this? I don't think the Fed really thinks that. I think what the Fed thinks is, look, we can take a mild recession or a downturn, and then we'll cut rates. But we can't cut rates until Countrywide goes out of business because they're not good. And I look at it the opposite, which is the Countrywide, as well as Dytech, a lot of companies, they offered very low financing. It was what Alan Greenspan encouraged in many sessions in front of the House and Senate. And they made the American dream possible for people. But Fannie Mae will do it after this. Fannie Mae will take good, clean loans. It's a cleansing of the system.
Even with Lockhart at the helm?
Well, no, he's not letting them add more loans. He is saying that they can take. Now, Lockhart would like Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae and Countrywide were both outliers. This is a world where people want Wells Fargo to survive, maybe Bank of America to continue to survive. Traditionally good lenders, maybe community banks. I had a real estate partnership. I broke it up and sold everything. There have been many banks that have told us about land that is for sale in the Northeast. But they've also made it very clear that we have to do it with cash. The credit, I have a very good credit rating, and I have to do it with cash. And I think that that's indicative of what's really out there. When I try to say, I got it.
You have it for sure.
I ain't touching it. But, when you have a guy like Poole, what he is saying is resonating in the following way. It's not just the homeowners who want to refinance. It's guys like me, very liquid guys, who are being shown big pieces of property, but being told, look, we don't have a mortgage for it. You can buy it with cash. We want it off our books because it's a default situation. But we need the cash. See, and there's very few people who are in my position of having the cash. And the one thing that I'm not going to give these banks is the cash.
It's like everyone's a victim, in a sense.
Well, the nation will not be. That's the way the Fed. If you want to look at it intellectually, honestly for the Fed, they need to wipe out much of the risk industry in order to return America to a sense of honest non-inflation greatness, away from the Chinese minerals that are being used to actually being willing to do a lot to make exports, and away from the oil and gas run-up and the corn run-up, which are substantial, but they're willing to see that. It's not that everybody's a victim. There'll be, by my take, of the 310 million person country, there'll probably be 295 million that make out great. The 15 million should be sacrificed. In other words, what I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing with the Fed's ultimate goal. I am saying that as someone who actually cares about the homeowners, it's not a great goal. But if you are someone who is actually in my position with a lot of cash and not able to invest in stocks, but able to buy things, it's a real win. So I am anything but a victim in this situation. It's just that, there's 295 million people who can benefit, of which I'm one. And I think a lot of those people are saying, what is all the ruckus about? So keep in mind that the Federal Reserve's game plan is a very intelligent one if you believe that you should don't spare, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. This is one where they really want to make an impact. And again, I want to get in front of the idea that I share their desire to eliminate inflation. I just think that they should have done it within the confines of having some place for the people who are going to lose their homes to go to. If they had done it with Fannie Mae, I'd be cheering for the Fed, just so you know. But there is no backup plan.
All right, thanks a lot, Jim Cramer. A long conversation on the Federal Reserve and all stemming from Countrywide. Right. Thanks a lot. This is Wall Street Confidential on the Street.com TV.